Please, God.
It's a few racks in my dinner. Coldest nigga flowing, take my shirt off in the winter. These bitches, man, I send them. First I break them, then I bend them. Hell nah, you cannot enter. Niggas phony, some pretenders. This gang can't comprehend you. This bag I cannot lend you. These niggas broke like Fender. That bitch I can't remember. I come from state to state. This Rolex up to date. My name that bitch on weight. My game that bitch on skates. This beat this bitch on fast.
Podcast easy.
Wow.
What's
Okay,
those?
that was more about me than y'all.
Yeah, I'm about to say this guy was sucking out his lungs.
Appreciate y'all.
Not even mad
I
at
could have
you.
kept going, but I stopped.
Shout out to you, brother, man. Good to have you back, baby.
Alhamdulillah. Hey, shout out to you, brother.
No, shout out
You
to
came
you.
twice.
No, of course, man. But today we have
No dealer, but yeah. Hey, we'll explain that on a later episode.
we have amazing guests, football extraordinaire.
For sure.
This guy watches the All 22. You cats do not be watching the All 22.
And he's an official, like,
we'll get into all that good stuff.
Stop playing with our guy.
Soon. Shout out to good brother Mual. Make some noise.
yeah, nigga, we
Yes,
see
sir.
the facts, nigga.
Hey, you
The
see
fuck?
it? Official, bro.
Official, nigga.
Official. Like, nah, I appreciate y'all boys having
One of
me.
the only
appreciate
real
you stopping
Commanders
by.
fans that I actually fuck with.
No, brother.
That's, you know what I'm saying? That's
That's a
big
fact.
words, bro.
No, I fuck with
That's
you,
big
man.
words, man.
When you say something about a guy on the Commanders, I'll be like, I'll take Maul's word
Be
for
on the
that.
lookout.
Yeah, look good. Y'all crazy. But speaking of, it is draft season. We are actually currently watching the draft as we speak, rounds 2 and 3. As the, I guess, I don't know how we
Three
start.
and 4 tomorrow.
2 and 3.
Nah, 2 and 3 tonight, and then you got the rest of the draft
tomorrow.
tomorrow.
I don't know how, do we start with the draft and then work back, or do we start with,
Draft gonna be all night, bro. You could go wherever you want to go.
all right, so let's get into this. So you've always been a football guy, you've always been a sports guy, but it was during the pandemic, correct, that your podcast and your blog work really took off, you would say.
Yeah, pandemic is where everything took off for me. Honestly, it's crazy though, cause like, I would say I was doing the podcasting and blogging before that.
Definitely
And
was.
yeah, and then I was like, you know what, bro?
Plug the
Like,
pod, bro. Plug the pod.
the Travel Die podcast. And like I said during the pandemic, I'm just like, at some point, I'd rather, instead of like doing everybody else stuff, like hopping on everybody else podcasts and like writing on like certain platforms, let me just like it out, do my own thing, bro, and figure it out from there. So yeah, man, it's been working out for me.
No, for sure.
So for you in particular doing that, what would you say was the thing? Because I remember when I was like, oh, these niggas is out here.
Yeah.
But for you, what would you say was maybe the moment, the interview, the post? What was the thing that you maybe did with Trap or Die, Hogs Haven, or I don't even know if you want to explain how maybe that came, like the partnership and all that. How would you walk me through that?
Yeah, so
When he got, not to cut you off, but the training camp credentials, my nigga, when he was in Richmond, I was like, oh yeah.
and that
He's
was
official.
fun. That was fun, bro. And it's crazy because
And
like
that was under the old management,
yeah,
and them niggas were sticklers.
it's actually the opposite.
For real?
Like respect to whoever may be listening,
Dan
Right.
Snyder and them.
but they was
Yeah, who
it's
are-
really Tony Wiley, like the old PR guy, like black dude. He done fucked around and left Washington and went to work for NBC, like the Olympics
nigga.
or something like that.
That nigga.
But like when Wiley was here, that's when I'm like getting my access and stuff like that. And I was working with the Hawks. I'm still cool with them, but like that's why I initially started with like the podcast, and I write for them too. And I was like, I was doing a lot for them.
Yeah, I remember
and,
that's what, because
Yeah.
at the time they were Sports Nation. I don't know if they're still Sports Nation.
So that's hard. So it's very confusing. There's so many hog stuff.
So I didn't know. So when I first saw you, I was like, oh, you write for Sports Nation. So I was like, that's dope.
So
Charles is a journalist.
Yeah. I know the background. I found out the background years after I met you. I was like, bro, I didn't know you did all this. Yeah. I was like, that's what's up, bro. I was like,
and all that, bro.
yeah, I could have had like 1,000 conversations with Charles on some shit. But not like so. Initially, it was
That's a good pickup.
It was Sports Illustrated, Hogs Haven. That's the SB Nation site.
Okay.
And then the Hog Sty.
Gotcha.
The Hog Sty was the one where I was credentialed.
Okay.
And I was going to the training camps, the mini camps, anything that you could get credentialed for, except for like actual like regular season games and practice.
Okay.
I was there for that stuff under the Hog Sty. And that's where I was getting the interviews with the players. I was on the field and all those things like that. And I was like, yo, this actually, like, not knowing no better, like Tony Wiley looking out. And I'm appreciative of it, but like, this is actually something I can really see like growing into. And like, I'm putting my effort into it and like that. And I'm cool with it. So like all of that stuff was good. And you know, it helped me build early on my platform and it helped build my audience. And like, I was just natural, like when it came to sports and stuff like that, like my background is just understanding, first of all, being relatable to the players is one thing. And also being different than the fucking journalists. Yeah. So I'm like, I'm way different. So like, I'm understanding of that early on. So like, I can have these conversations with players.
And you're not like a pencil football player. Like you actually played the sport, know the schemes.
Yeah, like I mean, back then I ain't, and I guess we'll talk about it. Back then I ain't really know the schemes like that. Okay. But like I knew what I knew. Like the eye test really, it never failed me. I'm slicing it. It did fail me sometimes. But
these niggas be lying going with.
But nah, I ain't gonna do that. But nah, like so like back then, like I had these conversations with them and you know, it'd be smooth and like I built my audience and that's how like I had something to stand on. Until like I realized that I can start doing my own thing once the pandemic hit. I'm like, yeah, this can really be something if I put 100% into my own thing and see where that goes. Second thing you asked me, like, when did I like know like we was up last year? Adam, I was
gonna say that was the one
once
you did the Adam Schefter when I said,
Adam Schefter.
I was gonna say you were the people, because I wanted to do just a quick deep. I was like, so Hogs Haven is a network, and they have a bunch of Commanders content. They have podcasts, and I was like,
Barstool.
They're like a branch of an SB Nation. So like they'd be the Commanders SB Nation hub. Okay. And they facilitate a lot of different content creators within their hub. Okay. So I was like, so it's not just y'all. Because I thought for one, that was... So
SB Nation would be the Barstool. I'm just trying to make sense.
Yes. Okay. So they'd be the larger. So I was like, I thought... And I was like, no, this is... They got other things. But y'all are like... whoever's listening, y'all are the thing that kind of moves the people. Like I went and looked at a few of the other things. They're nice, but like y'all the things that I think is like when people kind of think of what the Hogs Haven on the internet, at least Twitter.
Y'all move traffic.
Yeah, that. So when Schefter was like, "Hey, I think Commanders fans is okay, y'all to get a Jaden Daniels jersey,"
that blew up.
I was like, so that's the one right there. Because now they're insiders. Because they got insiders, and they're they're
insider earlier, but
they're facilitating information just as well. So that was when I was like, that was super dope. How'd you get Adam? Did you just
Mual on Pat McAfee? I watched Pat McAfee. I was like,
what
the hell is going on? I saw Pat Mac. I said, whoa.
I'm getting text.
I'll probably text you that day.
Maybe, bro. Probably, bro. Because like I'm getting I'm getting the mentions on Twitter, getting text messages about Pat McAfee. Like I'm thinking it's cool. Like I watch Pat McAfee from time to time. So, but like he would do like 3-hour shows. So I don't really be tapped in like that.
But he's a regular.
Yeah, he a regular. So yeah, like
I was like doing what he doing.
One of my co-hosts, Dre, who was on the podcast with us, like he had a bar just watching ESPN, and then they showed to the clip. He on TV. We all on TV, and he had the bar just watching the joint, and like so it was cool, bro. But Yeah, like I think Adam was probably like the one where you realize like you really locked in, and how we got Adam. I think what's really cool with our dynamic on the commander side, like we know the all 32 side, Rick, Nick, Ryan, like all of us in here know them, and like we the day ones. Yeah,
they make shit move in the NFL job. Like they be helping teams pick coaches and some more shit.
And we the day ones. So like that was easy to kind of get together. But on the commander side, these are people when we started this, like I knew them from social media. Mm-hmm. I ain't even know them in person, but I
like
knew
John Kime.
Yeah, well, actually Kime is Kime, JP, like the beat reporters.
Yes,
I've actually known them for a long time. I've actually worked alongside them in person when I was doing the beat stuff.
You were saying the mini camps and all.
So I knew them, and I like it was always love. So like they can hop on the show.
He don't seem like a hater either.
He cool as shit. So like they can.
I'm just talking about like
don't do too much. Don't do too much. Don't do too much.
We want to monetize one day.
I'm a fan now, JP.
He's the Commanders fan, ladies and gentlemen.
I know a little something. I know what we're talking about, so but no, so like I know them from working with them, but like from with AJ and Dre on the Commander side, like I know them from social media and I know them for a while. Like I just understood like who they were from, like first off how they tweeted, but also like I've had like personal conversations with like one-on-one conversations with them. So like I understood like where they was thinking for a long period of time. Like Dre always been cool, and then AJ he tried to do a podcast at one point. So like I knew he was interested in doing one, but like at the same time, I guess like the way he wanted to get it done, versus all like the consistency part, I was like, I know he has a lot to say, but also I know him. Like he's a person who will piss a lot of people off. Plain and simple. Because like he's adamant in his takes. Mm-hmm. Like he's gonna stand firm in them. It takes a lot to change his mind.
Passionate.
Yeah, passionate. And he speaks with conviction. Mm-hmm. Even if he wrong, bro, he gonna stand in it. and so like that's all.
Nigga, I believe this.
Yeah, and whether he right or wrong, like
it might take 15 years for this motherfucker to be right. But nigga, I was right.
And it don't always mean he wrong, right? Like sometimes it's like you gotta see through some of the bullshit, and like that's the type of person he is, whether he right or wrong. If he see through it and he right, like he gonna be that person that's like, I tried to tell y'all. But the reason why I bring these two up, AJ is, he has a background in the actual NFL. Like he has sports agents. He does the connections. He has he's plugged in with several different people from a national level that like we aren't plugged in with, right? Gotcha. Dre, he has a connection with like the fans, and he can talk to the fans in a particular way that AJ and I can't. And like he's been around like for decades outside of like outside of Twitter. Mm-hmm. So like he can talk. And then me, like we just went through my background. Yeah. Like that's the stuff that I went through. Like I had boots on the ground. Like I interviewed players. I talked to people I had connections with.
Down.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So like that's kind of the dynamic. And when you talk about how you get Adam Schefter, when you got connections and you make like those lifelong deals or like relationships, you build them. You can reach out to a certain person and be like, hey, can I, like, what's up? What we got to do? Let's get this in order. It also helps. Last year, Washington's picking number 2 overall. Mm-hmm. Like, that's how you get Schefter. That's how you get Louis Riddick. That's how you get RG3.
Yeah.
They picking number 2 overall.
Ain't nobody got stuff to say.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they want to have something to say. They had
the big Caleb and Jaden debate.
It works hand in hand because
everybody wins.
Everybody
scratch their back, they scratch your back.
Exactly. So that's kind of
question in the back.
That's kind of how things work.
So y'all wasn't locked in since like forever? Because the way y'all have y'all thing, I thought y'all been locked in for forever.
Because
that's how it feels to me.
I watched the Louis Riddick joint, and I was like,
"No, Mr. Sports Dre on Twitter." I remember him back in like 2015 when
I thought y'all like met Louis Riddick beforehand.
He's good man's with my. He's talking about the core. He's good friends with my man Justin C. Wellen.
Yeah, same. Like we known them for a long time. I didn't know that y'all was like locked in like that. And I'm like,
his father and my father Mual used to be coach. So like, so that's why I really love what y'all doing. Cause like, I love the Commanders fans because y'all are really like when I tell them passionate base, like y'all listen to ESPN 980, like Westbrook, like y'all listening to Westbrook.
That was the first
2 p.m. on a Tuesday, taking everything when Cooley used to be on the radio doing the joint. He's still on there. I don't even listen to like the sports radio.
That motherfucker moved to Montana.
Oh, okay, so but I remember like Cass used to listen to that and like so I'm very happy to see in particular the fans that like y'all that I know who have really lived and died with this for this time. It's a beautiful thing, man.
I swear it looked like y'all been y'all logged in like 10, 20 years.
All of that is but also like is outside of the podcast, like sometimes and it's great, like y'all been doing a podcast for how long has it been exactly for y'all?
7.
Yeah, I was listening to them shits earlier. It's like 7 years, but like how I was saying, like I've known these niggas for 2 decades, right?
Yeah.
The way that I was seeing how y'all did, I'm like, y'all had to know each other since y'all grew up type shit. But hearing this now, it's kind of just eye opening.
I didn't get that.
For me, I thought it was locked in for forever type.
So 7 years, right? And like only reason why
over the time that it started, I didn't think that they actually knew each other.
Well, maybe a little different, but I just
I was like, always there.
But I was just like, it seemed like the chemistry that y'all had. I was like, y'all known each other for forever. I wouldn't know y'all. We just picked this shit up because you're this and you're this, and we can all make this one thing type shit. It didn't feel like that to me. Like, it just felt like chemistry from day one type.
I would say to your point though, like, and that's why I asked like how long y'all been doing this. Like y'all been in the media side for a long time, long enough to know
on the ground,
like long enough to know like podcasts sometimes can really be like looked at as a business, and it's like these folk, like when you do your podcast and when you do your conversations, when you do these shows, like only thing we doing, bro, we gonna get on this mic, we gonna have this conversation, and if we got producers or we got like a high end like power backing us, y'all tell us what we need to talk about. We gonna do our thing. We gonna get up out of here. And I also think like you can tell when a podcast or like a group of people like ain't really like locked in, it's scripted. They not really locked in with each other, bro.
They got talking points.
Yes, they got talking points. Let's get in. Let's get out. Let's go on about our day.
You know what's crazy? We have talking points, but only one nigga knows them.
Bring them to the table.
Yeah, because Chuck know I don't want to know. Like I don't care, and he doesn't either.
But see, and
he just want to make sure the sound right. Me and Chuck want to make sure like we do it and the shit get out, and that's it. And then once the product gets out, then it's on all 3 of us to do. Well, 5 of us technically do what we supposed to do, and then we go from there. But back to you.
No, but to your point, like that's kind of the nature of being in a like a genuine space. Like you got your role, you got your role, you got your role. But also, like, you understand the role to the point where, like, this is what I'm willing to do to contribute. But, like, these are my boys. Like, I know that he can bring a topic and we can just ping pong.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Like, we gonna ping pong, bro. And I think that's kind of like the beautiful thing with y'all podcast because, bro, y'all range probably, bro, I don't remember what year it was, but like I listen to y'all talk about stuff in the Middle East, bro, like Europe, and I'm like, I'm listening to y'all getting informed. And like that's not a negative thing. Like I didn't mean it. Like that's not my tone. But I'm like, I'm listening to it. I'm like, bro, like I'm in the moment. I'm like, this is incredible because like I wouldn't have heard this shit from nowhere else. But they over here teaching me, and I'm like, damn, like,
because I remember you complimented us on that. And where the fuck were we? We was at Briggs, housewarming, and I was with. I came. And then I went to the jump and you complimented us on it. You was like, bro, like y'all recall, like in the moment is nuts.
Yes.
And it was like more real. I was like, bro, like y'all was smoking, drinking, but somehow you and Chuck just break out in a debate about like foreign policy. And he was like, bro, that's kind of crazy.
Yes.
And then I'm just like,
yes.
No, that's because like that's how it went. And I'm just like, I'm laughing because I'm like, that's just a conversation with Charles.
Yes.
Every day.
And that's what makes
that's a random 8:30 a.m. conversation, like text message to the group chat.
And that's what makes y'all great, because you was telling, I don't know if it was on the podcast or you was talking to me, like y'all had these conversations like before y'all started the podcast, and that's what's like, let's start a podcast.
Charles.
And so like I think when you talk about the nature or like the dynamic of and that's just for anybody that's listening, honestly. Like when you talking about starting a podcast, when you talking about like an actual podcast that you on right now, and you question, or if you're wondering like how strong your relationship is, bro, like when we started linking up, like let's go to a bar, let's chop it up, let's watch such and such, or let's go out, let's hit the streets, bro.
Ever
like,
since we started this,
let's go to pop.
We've never, like, man, Charles, before we started this, man, Charles would hit me and be like, I got some shrooms, I'm like, I got some gas. Go to his house, roll up, we'll do the shrooms, walk to a park, hit the J, and then just start talking about the grass. And then the grass will go from the grass and movements to like probably God. And then we'll work our way down from there to like a human standpoint and start talking about sports. I'm like, oh, so this why niggas like grass over turf. No, dead ass. Cause like Charles type of nigga that don't wear shoes. And then,
you like the
bro, he has some Crocs currently in his home. Like Charles do not wear pants. He don't wear shoes. If you catch him in a shirt with an actual collar, you did something. So Charles took off his Crocs because we were at the park, all shrooms, high as a motherfucker, and went in the grass. And dead ass was just like, oh, I see why they like grass over turf. And I'm like, I'm fucking fried. I don't know what you're talking about. But as a nigga that played on grass his whole life, I had ankle injuries, never had knee injuries. Them niggas have a lot of knee injuries, and they play a lot of, they run a lot on turf. So I can see how you did the math. I just don't want to know how you got there from just taking off your Crocs and walking in the grass.
Get me from A to B.
Hey, I don't need to know. He went from A to Z. I was at A to C. And I just wanted to know, I didn't want to know how the fuck he got that far in the alphabet. And that's pretty much how this podcast works.
And it keeps working, bro.
Yeah. Alhamdulillah.
So yeah, like that's kind of how the nature of the relationship, bro. Like we ain't know each other that long, but we know each other long enough on social media. I was able to, like them dudes, they locked in, and I know like the style that they bring to the table, like the type of people that they are. Had conversations, got them on, like it worked, and then we built a relationship from there. Like met in person, talk, conversations, all that stuff.
Okay, see, I knew that. As long as y'all met in person.
Yeah, for sure.
The Scout Academy. You're alum. How did you get involved with that? And what was that experience? Was it fulfilling? Would you recommend people trying to get involved with that? Like for you, did you enjoy that? How would you sum that up?
So it was fulfilling for sure. For me, I think for anybody that would be, I mean, after I talk about it, like if anybody that would be interested, it's going to depend on your schedule now. Like the world is opening back up. Bro, like I'm in the federal government. Y'all know, like your boy then sent everybody back to the office. They said get rid of the telework, remote work policies, get rid of that shit.
The only reason they did that is because of how much money the government is paying on real estate, but continue.
I mean that's part of it. Yeah.
That's definitely what it was.
And at the end of the day,
why you think the FBI building in Greenville now?
I have no idea, bro.
Real estate. That shit was getting too expensive.
That part, you think about like they trying to flush out whoever they need to flush out in the federal government, brother, to stand there.
You seen they had to rehire them niggas back though?
Look, they can say that they're rehiring, but honestly, bro, it's still they can rehire and it's still like 200,000 more. I'm slicing the number, but it's endless more people that's leaving out.
You're not far off.
Like we had
a lot of them older people taking the pension and the retirement plan,
the deferred resignation. Yup.
And they just like, bro,
we got. I'm in a small office and we got hit big, bro. Like the past couple of weeks, we got hit big, bro. A lot of subject matter experts gone, but to the point, and yeah, like they out the door. And that's big for us, bro.
We're getting rid of upper management.
Yeah, for sure. Like, and it's crazy. But like when you think about like what my situation is now and anybody's situation is now as the world is opening back up, you got to consider that part. Like if you got time to do it, the Scouting Academy will be for you. And it was fulfilling for me because at the time, like we talked about like what I did pre-COVID, going to where I needed to be, like from in terms of like showing up, showing my face, doing my work, like from a credential standpoint. But like I understood that there was a gap with the reporting. There was a gap with people who covered the team. Like the only thing they knew how to do, which isn't a disrespect because some people do it at a very high level, they knew how to cover the team. They knew how to cover angles of, at the time, I don't even say his name, the previous owner. His name does not get mentioned out of my mouth, bro. Like he gone, bro. To hell with that nigga. Like go ahead, stay over there.
It's crazy what y'all did in like 24 months.
Yeah, right. But like they knew how to cover the previous owner. They knew how to cover his scandals. They knew how to cover the team. They knew how
the drama.
Yeah, they knew how to cover the drama. But
because he wasn't hiding it.
Yeah, but and I agree 100%.
And I was like an employee. Like I worked at the stadium type shit. Yeah. And I just seen him walking around doing shit, and I'm like, oh, he's blatantly just doing this.
And like you look at something like that, right? Like you can get an anonymous front office staff member and have those conversations, right? But then also like from a team standpoint, you can cover a team, and like when you're losing, like, and it's just covering the game, like the win loss, why they lost, what did the coaches say, what did the players say? But there wasn't many people who in that same field was like, why exactly did they lose on offense? Why exactly did they lose on defense?
So like what three possessions come down to?
What did the scheme look like?
Yeah.
Like who was losing on a particular side of the ball?
For sure.
That like what unit was
Third
getting
down
cooked?
Comparisons.
Yeah. Or like if they were winning on the side of like if they were winning games, like why exactly did they win this game? What were they doing specifically that helped them win this game?
For sure.
Like how do you get down to like how do you get in between the weeds of like this is the reason why they won or lost? And like I saw that window, I'm like, bro, like I'm working from home. I'm 100% remote work, telework at the time because of the situation, COVID. And I'm like, all right, well, let me go ahead and start learning more about the game since this is my hobby. Like I'm actually on a microphone talking about these guys. Like I don't want to just sit here and talk about the same old, yeah, man, they couldn't stop the run or they was getting killed. Like I need to figure out like in real time, like who is the problem?
Time of possession.
What is the problem? Like who's getting killed? Like is it the 5 technique? Is it the 7 technique? Is the safeties too shallow when they're running like these full vertical, like all of these, like the science. So that's why I get in the Scouting Academy. And like, this is something where like, I'm trying to learn the game, and the Scouting Academy, essentially, long story short on this part, just teaches you where at a certain, like how to evaluate certain positions. Okay. And they tell you, or they teach you how to study, and you got to put the work in. And at that point, like once I went through the Scouting Academy, I did my 2.5 positions because you like it just depends on how much time you knock out however many positions. I did 2.5 positions. I did good enough to like start scouting for teams and under a company. So like at that point, like I didn't put in.
Hold on. Make some noise from all, man.
I appreciate it. So
man,
like
is scouting.
Yeah.
Professionally?
Yeah. So that's how I put in my.
It's like it was about to be the East Coast Scout of the Washington Commanders.
So I put in my 10,000 hours. Like it's the people like I realized I put in the 10,000 hours. And that's kind of how like the Scouting Academy worked for me. And nice. Know it's done like you said. It worked out big time for me.
So I think my biggest question as far as that goes is, as a fan, what do you think was the biggest kind of maybe eye-opening moment, or when you learned the difference between how you watched the game previously to what maybe they taught you there?
Shit. First probably like the first week.
Okay.
First week, cause like they give you the terms, like the glossary. Like part of that is like actually going through the glossary and understanding like the language before you start actually looking at tape, right?
What's the X? What's the Y? Z?
Yep. ET twist, TE twist, like line games. Cover 3, like some as basic as that. Cause some people may not. Like cover 3, cover 2.
Shell coverage
is roll coverage. Like what's a stunt? Like all the stuff. So you learn the definitions of everything like off rip. And then you start talking about, we talked about Louis Riddick on the podcast. Like Louis Riddick's part of the Scouting Academy. And like he has
somehow can't get a GM job,
which is crazy. And it's also like at this point, I'm like, bro, do you want one? Like I was saying, like, do we want one?
He don't no more.
That's the right spot.
Bro, maybe
You don't want.
Nah, maybe, bro.
Didn't he interview for the judge job some time ago?
I think he did.
Like 4 or 5 years ago.
I think it was sooner, like more recently than that.
For real?
Yeah, probably like last 2, something like that.
Okay. I'm saying I heard that. I've either heard about it or like read about it for shit shows.
Like he wants a certain level of control that he can't get. I ain't mad at that.
I mean, I want the same thing the mother niggas get, bro.
Exactly. Give me what Kawhi got.
You hear me?
Give me what Kawhi got.
Continue, brother.
Nah, you good. So, yeah, I think that's kind of how it worked, bro. Like the Scouting Academy was kind of the like first week you learn damn near, or you understand like the smallest differences of like from being a fan to like actually like looking at the game from a different lens.
How has that changed your viewing experiences
As a fan?
on Sundays? Or do you feel like you're always watching with that in mind, with that in the back of your head, or can you disassociate it? Can you say, hey, now I'm doing it for the love of the game. I'm not looking for the over the top safety.
So how good is your compartmentalizing?
Yeah. Early on, like when you really try to apply it, you going everything matters. And then once you start to branch out a little bit, like some people, and I would imagine this is probably like NFL players, like people or college players, like it never turns off.
In the SEC for sure.
Yeah, yeah. So like I'm in my spot, I'm looking.
Big Ten.
All right, I paused. I was giving you a window.
He's championing us over the last couple of years. I don't know why you said that.
Hey man, y'all be winning.
Is it the camera? Is it the camera off?
No, not at all. Who had more draft picks in the first round? SEC or Big Ten? We had 15. Y'all had 11.
Continue.
11 something.
Look, I'm saying.
I'm enjoying this.
So like, I think this is just
We're still close. Hey, starting quarterback. Commanders.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
He was in Pac-12 cat too, so.
Oh yeah, okay. Where he won the Heisman at?
That's true.
All right. Let's continue. Hey,
then the teammates started saying, "Fuck that nigga."
They didn't want him.
It was some haters.
Haters.
Brandon Ayuk is the only wide receiver that wanted him on the squad.
Yeah, the only one, which is crazy, super disrespectful. Yeah, I think, bro. I think where was we at anyway?
How you watch it? The lens.
Yeah. I turn it off, bro. Players probably can't do it. Like former college players, former NFL guys, they probably can't do it. But like me, like when I was locked in for like the first 2 years, it's how I look at it. Now I could turn it on and off. Like if I really got to lock in for a certain type of thing, or like if I feel like this is an important game. I mean, every game, obviously last year, y'all know, like it was important, but like the bigger games, Pittsburgh, the Eagles games, the Ravens, like I'm at the Ravens game, so I got I'm Chicago game, like those are ones where it's like I'm not saying like turn it off, but it's like you got to at least know a little bit more because those are the ones that's gonna, for a person that's in the media side, like those are the ones that's people really gonna tap into your podcast. They want to know what the fuck you got to say about the shit. So like, let me turn it on.
A lot of Commanders fans was calling him a RB1.
Who?
B-Rob?
No, Daniels.
RB1.
Said he was a better runner than he was a thrower. They say he's a run first quarterback.
Jaden was, bruh, this is so fulfilling, like, from a personal sense. I don't, like, Jaden, bruh, was probably, like, my best scouting job ever. Like, and I'm not like a professional scouter, right?
I mean, you are.
Bro, you tweeted. As an LSU fan, you literally are.
I mean, you graduated from the
you're two positions.
It's
like you're two positions
it's
that
like
you
when
were able
someone
to
is
gain.
like a computer tech and they get a certification. They're like, yeah,
I just do cloud management.
It's like, nah, like you got the certification.
Cloud management.
If you're a teacher,
all right.
You can't be a teacher. Like people teach, and then there's people who got a teacher certificate.
Yeah.
Okay. And there's a fundamental difference. Like I can scout.
I guess
like
I'm
you
looking
a nurse practitioner, or are you a registered nurse?
I guess I look at it from the lens of like comparing my situation to like people who do this like full time.
Yeah,
so that's
I get what you're saying,
I
but
understand what you're saying.
I don't think there's a disconnect because you put it in work.
If we're being technical,
yeah. So all right. So I guess the reason why, like, for Jaden, when people talk about like as a runner, I'm like, bro, like he was the best scouting job that I ever did because it's like I broke his game down from his passing ability, his actual scrambling ability, and his ability to like actually like process things. And it's like when I heard that stuff, like because Commanders fans said things like that, like, but they said that they thought he held onto the ball too long or he took unnecessary sacks, like all those other things. I'm like, bro, like if you look at his game, bro, like I don't think y'all really seeing this thing from a clear-eyed standpoint. Like
I'm an LSU fan, brother, so you preach to the choir.
Yeah, like the dude and his 2023 tape, 2022 tape wasn't clearly as impressive as his Heisman campaign, but it's like even his 22 tape, like he improved as the season went along, but he never was a mediocre quarterback that year. Like he was still good, bro. And like all he did was get better as the weeks went on, and then like showed out in 23, bro.
Because you tweeted about him after the first game where he scored 5 touchdowns at LSU, and you dead ass was I won't say verbatim, but that's when you stamped it for you. It was just like, oh yeah, he's the better quarterback between him and Caleb.
Yeah, I think that one was always neck and neck. And like I don't know if it was me being like Caleb the hometown. Like we got to talk to his head coach before he got drafted. Like his high school head coach.
Okay.
And like I'm like, yeah, I don't know if I'm getting swayed. I have no idea right now. But like Jaden,
a dog.
He is.
He a dog.
But you know what I like though? I like that Chicago may not know like to this day if they made the right decision. Like I like knowing that's
the way they drafting.
I like knowing that that's their position in their circumstances compared to Washington, who has been in that position for years and decades, where it's like, I don't know if we made the right decision.
We can skip the years. Let's just jump to the decades part.
Yeah. RG3.
Cowboys in the same situation.
But who are they going to pick outside of RG3?
I don't know.
So, no. So what I'm saying is, like, for sure, RG3 was going to be the guy, right? But, like, when I say indecision or unsure, you draft Kirk Cousins same year. Yeah. And, like...
Third or fourth round?
Third round.
It was fourth, I thought.
Fourth.
I thought it was fourth.
It was fourth.
Fourth. Yeah, fourth.
2, 3. I know Alfred was too.
Alfred was like a 6. He was like a 6 or a 7.
Yeah, it was 6.
Yeah, it's people that
one was defense and the other one
was like a defensive lineman from Clemson.
One thing I do find interesting about what you're saying is that the Bears for sure aren't short now. But is it because of how good Jaden is, or because of what maybe Caleb wasn't? And I think, is there sort of some like there's a potential upside that maybe you believe is still there with Caleb that makes them not maybe think that as much as I think.
I don't think they're unsure though, because I mean they literally in the free agency they literally got endless guards, endless linemen. They're drafting.
You're talking about this year, right?
Yeah, right now.
Yeah,
like, once the season over, they got
currently.
Yeah, they got the cousins.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
So if you're
Because the year
unsure,
before, they just loaded up on skill
they
plays.
just got all offensive.
Yeah.
Well, that was the whole point. They were just saying they thought
Who
he was.
the fuck is he going to throw the ball?
Well,
Because if you watch this USC tape, he didn't have time to throw it
they
in.
thought he was going to overcome a lot of things.
So if you're unsure,
He was like Cam Ward watered down.
if you're unsure, you're not going to get these people in free agency. You know what I'm saying? You're not going to draft a Colson Loveland. You're not going to draft who was the second receiver they got. They just drafted a lineman now.
They drafted
So I don't think they're unsure.
Missouri.
So I
I think that's
Luther
Luther
from
and
Missouri.
Colson.
Yeah.
And then you get another offensive lineman.
So I think
you're
unsure from a standpoint of
That's
like
now because you got the proper people in place.
Maybe you're 3 if you're wild.
from the standpoint of uncertainty, it's I think
5 years
there's
for a 3
two
years for a
things.
quarterback to be stamped, right?
Yeah, probably.
Well, we just saw
So like nowadays, quarterbacks ain't lasting 2 years. Like if they really some shit, they ain't lasting 2 years, bro. Like
if
they
you white, you get your contract.
moving on, bro.
If you white, you get your full rookie contract.
Unless you
gonna get it all.
unless you Josh Rosen, bro.
I'm about to say Josh Rosen was did
He
he
was
get 10
terrible,
games?
bro. Nah.
I mean, nah, but he
had a full season. They said, yeah, we
What
gotta let you go,
about
bro.
about the kid from
what
the
type of money he
Jets?
making as a backup?
Zach
though?
Wilson.
Yeah,
Zach
he
Wilson
probably
ain't
UFL
get
for all I
a
know.
rookie
Right now.
contract.
Yeah.
Who the fuck do he play
Sam
for?
Darnold didn't get a
Rosen?
rookie contract.
Last I seen Rosen was
Trey Lance ain't get a rookie contract.
Still
He was still in the league.
Like, yeah, you might
Dead
get bounced
ass.
around the league.
Might
Hey,
have been the
let's
Jets,
check-
but
let's-
he was there.
Let's check the postal office, see if he working for them right now, bro. He might be around. You know, working for the. He may be my. He may be my coworker, bro.
Josh
From
Rosen
Germany.
works in corporate.
He not in the league,
For
bro.
real?
Yeah, it's been in corporate for like 3 years now, bro.
Yeah, he cooked, bro.
Well,
So no, I was saying, bro, Caleb, I think from the uncertainty standpoint, it's not like where he's at right now, right? Like clearly, I think especially if you're a new coach, what's cuz name? Ben Johnson. Yeah, like if you're a new coach, bro, you're gonna do everything in your power to build up a team around Caleb, so there are no excuses for if this dude falls, if he's or sinks or swims, right? Like we're gonna make sure you're in the best position that you could possibly be in, so we can make sure that you moving forward is like this dog, and that you actually bring out every single part of like your talent and your the danger like part like we want to make sure that comes to life,
Boy got good feet,
right? But prior,
but he
I
has
think
good feet.
Oh, Jack. Right. Oh, shoot. Yeah, cuz that. What, 6'5", dude? 6'4", something like that.
I think like 6'3" and some change.
Oh,
but
TCU?
6'4".
Yeah, TCU, dude, right?
Yeah, good feet.
Last
good
game
feet.
I saw.
Good feet.
Look, hey, that's
Good
PTSD
feet.
talking.
That is PT.
That's good feet.
Hey, bro.
Good feet, brother.
Josh Dawson was great.
I said a white man got good feet.
team, man.
Nah,
TCU.
that is a little. That's a little PTSD for me too, bro. But I mind my business, bro.
He had one catch.
All right, put that nigga in
Who's
the
the other
slot.
dude that was from TCU?
There was another guy after him that was
Just
the same
recently.
shit. Same shit.
On the Chargers.
Tough.
Nah, Rager. Rager was TCU, right? Jalen Rager.
I hope not.
I believe so.
Probably. You know what I mean? Like, what is that?
Throw that nigga when you want to drop the ball.
Bro, Josh Dawson had one catch, bro.
I thought you were talking about the kid from the
That's the only
Chargers.
reason I said he went to LSU.
Oh.
That's why I know him.
Oh,
Like, bro,
man,
he got
dude,
good
right.
feet,
Run
bro.
vertical
Put
routes,
that
bro.
nigga in the slot. Let him do something.
So this was the only
Slot
year at
fade,
TCU.
shorty, and
But
slants.
yes, put him in a bunch package, nigga. He's gonna go crazy.
He gets grace. But
Put him in a bunch package, cause watch what he do.
Oh, he run up.
receiver.
Put him in a bunch package. Watch what he do.
Okay. Right there. Okay. Move it like a tight end.
Exactly.
You got a little versatility to him.
Yo, he's the one whose brother passed.
I'm not sure.
To the Raiders.
No, I think Charles actually stamped it. No,
Oh
Ravens on the
shoot,
clock.
Skins picking in 2 picks. Okay. All right. Hey, so
It's perfect for this.
Yeah. So Caleb,
Timing.
I think honestly, bro, I just
Allah
think
knows
Caleb,
best.
like the decision with Caleb is more so because they had the number 1 overall pick. You had the option of selecting Caleb or Jaden, and I think because you're at the number 1, like you have the most pressure on you to say like we believe that Jaden is better than Caleb, but why would we go against the grain and not select the unanimous
And
overall?
Jaden played more football too.
Yeah, number 1 guy, and that's where it's like you live with that uncertainty because you had to make that decision. Right. But now, like you're living in your situation, like let's make sure that we don't sink and fall through the floor. Let's make sure that this dude has every single thing in his power to make sure that he's like that. Exactly. So that's kind of where I mean with uncertainty.
I get what you're saying.
But he proved it though.
Yeah, second half of the season.
Something you said second half. Like I think from game 1 he proved it.
What he proved, Boo?
Yeah, I can't agree.
One, all right.
Can't agree.
Like I said,
But
I've been a Jaden fan since he came to LSU.
Are we talking Jalen? I thought we were talking.
I thought you were talking about Caleb.
Oh,
So if you talking about Jaden,
Caleb. Oh, we can go.
No,
Caleb.
I'm talking Caleb.
Oh, okay.
I was saying we talking. And we
Jaden
talking.
has-
yet.
Hey, I'm about to say we talking about Jaden.
I do not
I ain't had no. I ain't had no
okay.
question.
We
for
talking
Sean.
about Caleb. I don't think he proved anything yet. I still think he hold
Second
on.
half?
I still think he hold on to the ball too long. I honestly think the second half is because Roma Dunze, he looked more towards him in the second half, and he started running routes better in the second half of the season.
Keenan Allen
Started
came
getting
alive,
better
too.
separation. And Keenan Allen, I feel like he was injured.
He was.
And so, like, he was working through an injury and then ended up getting better. So, he's a free agent, definitely.
Man, shit,
So
he's
it was
gone
just
now.
like, but with Roma Dunze, Luther, the tight end that they just drafted from Michigan, I really think, and then with the offensive line presence,
DJ Moore.
I don't think that Caleb will, this year speaking, he'll have to do all the USC shit. Like run around, go back, miss a tackle, do all that extra shit.
Probably playing with the
But
best
you got
offensive line he's ever had in his career.
Damn.
Probably, but
Before
the
he went to motherfucking USC, he had a good offensive line.
OU
Oklahoma.
He
probably.
had a good line.
But he's a grown man.
But my thing
How many of his line, at least
from OU,
2 of them went top 3.
He's a grown man. He's got one cat from the Chiefs. It's like a veteran Chiefs cat. And there's another. I forgot.
they got a whole bunch of. They got like 2 or
They got
3
like
from free
3
agency.
cats. They got 3 cats in free agency. They just drafted Cuz.
I know they got the 2 tackles and a guard.
He's about to play with the best offensive line.
I mean, the
But-
center holds that
But
down,
to this point, like his knack, bruh, is like when you talk about him staying in rhythm, like playing within the rhythm of a play, like being on time, like that was his problem at USC.
That was him.
That was his problem
At
at
Oklahoma.
Chicago, like last year.
His last
like,
year at Oklahoma.
It's a
was
reason
problem,
why DJ Moore was so like, bro. He probably wouldn't tell you that this nigga was mad at Caleb because he a rookie, bro. But like
I beat
his
this-
outbursts ain't for no reason,
I
bro.
beat him off the line. The first 3 steps in my route, I beat him. So it should be on me on my 5th step. You didn't see it.
You
My
didn't
5th
see
step
it,
is me catching it and then getting 15 or house.
and it's like if I got this slant, bro, and you don't hit me in the first window,
Just crazy. I didn't even
Like-
say the route. Literally did not say it was a route.
and it's like, bro, like why am I not getting the ball in this first window? And then all of a sudden you don't get the ball in the first window. Now all of a sudden I gotta look back here and I see you dancing around and you got like 3 seconds of protection. So that's kind of where
And
it's
we
like,
were just talking about that with Shador.
yes,
3 seconds of protection, my nigga. You got 3 seconds. And Colorado's offensive line is horrible. But I literally saw a lot of his touchdown passes where he got more than 3 seconds. I'm talking about 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, 3 Mississippi. Get it out. Like his touchdown passes were that. But you don't do that to save yardage, to
yeah,
stay above the sticks.
yeah.
But you holding me, friends included, for saying that he's not a first round quarterback.
I was never a Caleb Williams guy.
I'm talking about Shador at this point. But
He
I'm gonna go to the party.
I'm not a Shakur guy.
But yeah, that's
I don't like the story though.
we gonna see what's up with Caleb, bro.
No, I respect it. I think they're gonna be forever linked. I mean, the way Andrew Luck and RG3 were linked. Yeah. That happens. Quarterbacks, drafts, things of that nature.
That's right.
Speaking of Washington Commanders, this year's draft is not as exciting as last year's, and for good reason.
Yeah,
guys made it to the NFC title game this year. Shout out to the Commanders.
Yeah. Last time we picked 29th.
You never saw
picked
that.
it.
Never saw that. Maybe 1991 or something, but you never saw that. What is different about this year for you as far as the draft, maybe prep and going into it, and
it's way more of a wild card.
Is that a good or a bad thing?
It's terrible for me. For me, and what I mean by that is like previous years to provide context. Let's start with last year. Quarterback, right? You're narrowed down to one position. You're gonna have to watch several different quarterbacks. And for Washington is Caleb, is Jaden, it's Drake May. Like those are your three. You gotta watch them. So what you spend the most of your time on, right? Previous years, you knew that it was a little array. Like you had some variety in there, but you had probably 4 positions.
Okay.
That's all we was doing.
Quarterback though was always going to be in play.
Yeah.
Quarterback.
Not
but you never knew. I don't clearly we never took one.
Y'all drafted
right,
guard
but you just never knew.
Tackle in the first round.
Guard.
Yep.
D-line.
Sheriff was first round.
Sheriff,
pick, right?
but that about 10 years ago.
Long time.
What is it? 2015? Yeah, 10 years ago now.
Jake Root.
Yeah. But in the recent years, you kind of knew
what the MO?
3 or 4 positions that you had to look at, and you just go ahead and start looking at those players. This year, pick 29. We're talking about a free agency where they literally, from their perspective, Mike went to Baltimore.
That's kind of crazy.
2 picks before Washington.
That's crazy.
He over here crying his aunt. He about to have an anxiety attack, bro.
Ooh, tears.
That's because from Marshall.
Yeah, because from Marshall, bro.
He's supposed to be a dog.
He went to the right team.
Mm-hmm.
Damn.
Fuck.
I really do hate the Ravens.
So
This young guy.
yeah, bro. 17 sacks, bro. 17 sacks this year. 17 and a half. Let me give him his half credit too.
He worked for that half.
Yeah.
Sure did.
That's a hell of a half, my nigga.
So this year, bro, when you look at how Washington is stacking up, from a free agency standpoint, you see that they have addressed several different positions. And for me, when I look at how I prepared, now you got to talk about, okay, we have defensive line that we can target. You got receivers that you can target. You have running backs that you can target. And offensive line, cornerback, defensive back, because you're open to best player available.
Okay.
So when you do that, right? Because I know we traded some picks away, right? So we don't have 7. What are we? Cause I know
Got 5.
Okay.
Yeah.
We have 1, 2.
1, 2.
I think we let go of 3 for
1, 2, 4.
Yeah,
Tonsil.
No.
6, 7.
Debo. We let 3 go for Debo. So you said 1, 2.
It's either 1, 2, 4, 6, 7, 1, 2, 5, 6, 7. One of them. So
Cowboys got a lot of things to trade away on tomorrow, and
so does that make it harder when you got to go to the back end of the scouting report at that?
yeah, see, for me, bro, that's part of the part where I'm not even
especially
doing
with
all
this
that.
type of drive.
Okay.
Yeah.
This year in the drive,
This is actually a really good
this
This
the drive is we're gonna get the sleeper in
Who they get? RJ Harvey, that's the running back.
3rd round.
We're on the clock now.
Yeah. Scans on the clock.
Who's right after us? That's funny as shit.
Chicago.
As we just talked.
Yeah, I don't have honestly, bro. I don't have
enough time in the day right now to like stretch myself thin, pause of like so many different positions. Like I gotta figure out like what's best for my time management. And then I gotta figure out like who's gonna be around. So like for me, I was looking at Edge. I was looking at Edge.
You was looking
I
at
looked
the
at a
guys
couple
the
receivers.
Cowboys drivers. The guy that the Cowboys drafted, Boston College.
Ezra Raku. I looked at him. I looked at Luther Burden.
They was looking at him late first too.
I'm glad we didn't get Luther Burden. I ain't gonna lie to you. I mean, he tough, bro. Like from like after the catch. Yeah, he went to Chicago. So like,
question though.
What's up?
When you're looking at different players, are you looking at them in particular for best fit? Are you looking for who just pops out as the best player? Are you looking for something you think is in particular for this team? I'm just curious because as a scout, different teams need different things. Yeah. So if someone plays a 3-4 or 4-3, they're looking for a different type of linebacker, different type of edge player. So is that how you're looking at these players specifically for the Commanders? Or is it just kind of, hey, a general football, like a larger football kind of evaluation?
I got you. Let's see who watched them picks right quick, if you don't mind.
Of course. Listen, I love this.
At the 61st pick,
Trey Aim, the cornerback.
Oh, miss. He actually
Didn't y'all just give up on the cornerback that y'all drafted in the first round like 2 years ago?
St. Juice?
Or 3 years?
Emmanuel Forbes.
Yeah. Whoa.
That's crazy.
Trash.
Playing
That's a
for the
real
LA
fan
Rams
right
right
there.
now, bro. He trying to make a name for himself, bro.
He was supposed to come to LSU.
Chill, bro.
Oh, he a pass certain comp. Okay.
Yeah, he was supposed to come to LSU.
That's
He's
not
from
bad.
Louisiana.
So that's the outside guy right
Yeah.
there. That's
Like,
gonna be
he
the
one of
outside
them niggas that's
guy.
like, he could travel, but
A
don't.
fucking certain fucking comp is crazy.
Right.
Son, he don't travel, but he could.
26 stars, 63 games.
Son, the
Let's
nigga's
see
a
what
dog,
good.
bro.
4-3.
6'2". Tall for a corner.
6'2.
Yeah.
He like
Ran a
6'1",
4.43.
6'2". Wallahi.
Physicality.
I'm not son, you talking to an SEC fan. Like, we seen these niggas. They gave us hell. They gave LSU hell last year.
Yeah, shit.
Like, he long and rangy. Why you think he getting compared to Surtain?
That's crazy. So.
They needed
With the
that.
speed.
Yeah.
And he can run.
They needed it.
Nigga?
Yes.
Fine.
He
I like
can
that. I
run.
like that.
You're ridiculous.
I like that.
With baby mom's right next to him.
Say, baby.
Yeah, I was right for it.
Everybody in that junk
Father
geeked
up
up.
too. You felt that.
Mom
Boy,
behind
girl.
her screaming
You really
her
felt that.
ass off, bro. She about to pass out.
Hear me?
She out of breath.
Boy, you better not play with the church's money.
That hat going crazy. I like that.
Hey, bro. Got the hog on the jump, bro. That shit ugly.
I'll show you wig.
Oh,
You gotta
Lord
relax.
Jesus.
All right, let's keep going. Let's keep going. This is where we start drifting away. The drinks have settled.
The way I scout, bro, like, and that's honestly, bro, that's a really good question. When you think about like the way people conversate or like the way they break things down for a person, right? They tailor it to the team that they're talking to.
Yes.
And like that's fine for like a particular audience, but like part of the scouting thing, like they drill into you is you have to strip yourself of the bias, right? Like, and I think that's not easy to do for some people, but like when you're actually in there and you're taking it serious, you understand like you can really do it. Like you become a student of the game and a student of like what they do versus like what type of fit they'll do for Washington or what type of fit they'll do for a particular team.
So what is the bottom line for a scout?
For my side, like not the pro full-time side.
Okay.
It's kind of separated like that. For me, I'm like, what is his strengths? What is his weaknesses? What scheme does he fit? And in the scheme that he fits, is he a starter that you can win with? Is he a starter that you can win because of?
Okay.
Or
like
is
that.
he a person that you win despite of?
Okay.
And like those are kind of the three principal like ways that you box this person in. Because if he's elite, you win it because of him, right? And anything below that, it depends on what box he fits in. Okay. So like that's kind of how you view certain players. That's is tough. Like you got to be able to have that awareness to know that like you may be scouting for your favorite team because again you're not tied to the Atlanta Falcons or the Chicago Bears. Like you get to do this you get to do this out of your leisure, but for me, Hogs Haven, SB Nation.
We doing this shit for fantasy, nigga.
Right.
We doing this shit for real.
But if you want to have like a resume out there, like for me, like as a writer, as a person who does like works like that, like I look at those things that I do in terms of my writing or podcasting as like my living resumes, bro. Like, so I'm never going to sit here.
I put that shit on my resume. Charles, ever since Charles told me, hey, bro, you can put Hazy on your resume.
Yeah.
I was like, say no more.
Yeah, I got Hogs Haven, I got Hogs Style, I got all this. I got the Scouting Academy, I got all that stuff. It's on my resume. It's on my resume, bro. It's on my LinkedIn. Like people want to know what I like. The company that I'm contracted to do the scouting reports for the NFL teams is on my LinkedIn. So all that to say, like that's an excellent question because you have to be able to like all my living documents, bro, all my writings and my podcast, and if I'm ever talking about a player, matter of fact, I'm sorry, when I talk about my podcast or videos, like when I do my film sessions, I don't talk about how he's going to do for Washington. I talk about the player, and that's it. I don't talk about this person's going to do XYZ for my team. I'm like, whoever listens to this, because it could be a person who's scouring the internet or YouTube just looking for content about a particular player that their team drafted. So, like, for example, I got Luther Burden on the YouTube. Mm-hmm. Like, a Bears fan is going to look for Luther Burden content, and they're going to see my shit. And, like, if you watch the full thing through for 15 minutes, something like that, it's all about what this person is to me, how I saw him, and it's going to have nothing to do with Washington. It's going to have something to do with what he brings to the table for whoever drafts him and what you got to look out for in terms of
how much
like
control does Ben Johnson have?
Excellent question. He should have full. Shamar Turner.
That's what I'm saying. Because this youngin right here, he might cause some issues.
And I like being able to have that ability to tell people like I'm not going to talk about this person just for Washington. And I mean that from the sense of like people only look at certain things a certain way. But like if people really want to understand this person, like look at what I have to say from an unbiased lens. And if you somehow form this as like, I don't like this person for Washington or I love this person for Washington, that's good on you. Good on you, bad for you, whatever, how you look at it. But like I just know like if the right person looks at this, like I'm talking about like a higher up that wants to hire me from somewhere else and like it makes sense. Like if they look at this and they see like I'm taking this serious and it's not just about Washington, this is like a business, a formal way of doing something. All right, well,
there you go. Theo Epstein. You don't know who that is.
You're going to have to tell me who
Theo Epstein in baseball. He was a GM
of the Boston Red Sox.
And then
I know. All right.
And then he left the Boston Red Sox and went to the Cubs, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
I don't know, bro. Like, it...
And he was like the youngest GM ever for MLB baseball. Am I right, Chuck?
Yeah, he was like youngest to win and all that.
Yeah,
so.
like...
First off...
When that signed Big Papi. Right?
Okay.
I'm talking about like re-signed him though. Boston was talking about getting rid of him. Chuck, help me out, please.
He architected the team that helped when they came back and beat the Yankees. He did all that. He was very instrumental in that.
I was gonna say side note, like I like how we're almost done with the dark ride. Like, yeah, I'm about to say, do y'all want to?
You brought that with the right podcast, bro.
No, we gonna finish that.
That's gonna be gone by the time we finish the conversation.
I love that, bro. I love. What's up?
No, I'm just curious, because you're not just a football cat, like you're a sports guy in your nature. So I'm curious, does any of this stuff?
Maul's a vicious lefty on the basketball court too. If you try to play with him, we're going to Maul Pierce on Walker Mill.
Yeah. Is there anything that
I don't take that? I don't take that.
3-point line, my nigga. like if he position you below the 3-point line, and I'm talking about before dribble, watch your step, because he gonna hit you with some Paul Pierce shit. I took it back. If you young niggas don't know who Paul Pierce is, before Kevin Garnett and them,
Yeah.
I'm talking about he was battling with the Nets.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Vince Carter. You know what I'm saying? Kenyon Martin, Jason Kidd, shout out to Keys. Talking about that type Paul Pierce.
I carry that name too. Like I go to a different court, bro. Like
Real shit.
like, bro, y'all don't know who Mual Pierce is, bro.
Y'all don't know who Paul Pierce is, bro. Because he gonna give that shoulder to the hip jump. If he creates separation, it's going up. If he can catch you with the hezzy and go underneath, right or left.
I ain't got no baseball nickname yet though. I used to play that too.
We got time.
But
Do you carry
lefty, too. That's
anything
kinda
you
crazy.
learn from that to other sports, or is it just kind of football has a very specific means of or lens to which you look at?
yeah, that's another really good question. Honestly though, like from that standpoint, it's like sports in itself, like depending on it could be football, basketball, baseball, etc. Like it's a niche lane, right? And like for football, it fits that category. It's a niche lane, and I can be willing to learn. Like my ears open up for certain things in terms of like the way somebody, for example, that Braun podcast that got JJ Redick his job.
Mm-hmm.
And then the same job that he doing with Steve Nash right now.
Yeah.
Right? Like if I sat down and listened to that,
Be coaching the Suns.
yeah, man, we gonna be coaching one of them motherfuckers, bro. I wonder
About Steve Nash. He about to
Yeah.
be coaching the Suns.
I wonder what lane he about to get opened up for him with doing that podcast. I think they hit 1 million in like 2 days, bro.
It was a 561.
I think there's a what
by like 7 hours.
I didn't say this earlier, but I think why what you do is so important is because in all walks of life, there's a idea that institutions don't know what they're doing.
Mm-mm.
No matter what, whether it's the politics, whether it's the food, you pick the industry, and there's people who believe that the experts or the people who are quote unquote the institutions don't know what they're doing. And I think it started in sports first. One of like the biggest sports people is probably Bill Simmons, right?
Yeah.
Bill Simmons' whole thing is he was the sports guy. Like his whole thing is I was the guy who was sitting on my couch and I just knew these sports better than all you so-called experts.
Boston sports.
And well, he was doing everything. He wrote like he has like the book of records book. And, like that was his whole thing. Like it wasn't just Boston. This nigga was like he was just like, yo, I know this better than you guys. And I think with the internet, one of my favorite like sports people is John Boy. He's a baseball cat, and he's not really affiliated with any big company. It's just like he does it like he just comes out and he shows you video day in day out every day, the nuance of shit that you're not gonna get on a linear or like a corporate because they just don't have the time. They don't got the space. And I think what you do in particular for a rabid fan base like the Commanders, if you don't live here or you're not from these parts, I think it's very easy to be like Commanders this and that. But
even in Texas.
Yeah, but I think if you're really from these parts, you realize that this fan base is very rabid. Like this is people talk about sports being 24/7, but no, the Commanders are a 24/7 thing. Like right now, tomorrow, on Monday, they're gonna be talking about this draft. Like in-depth analysis. And I think the people who are closer to that are mostly going to be the fans, are going to be the people. It's not going to be the beat reporters. Like beat reporters are going to know a lot of insight about the team. I think you made a great distinction about the old regime in Washington versus the new one, where some of the people who worked there could cover the team, but they couldn't really cover maybe the sport. They could cover the team and everything. And I think fans, for better or for worse, have a good pulse on the team. Sometimes a little too much, and they get a little too fanatic with it. But I think with that being said, when there's someone like you who can blur the lines quite well and do the professional versus the. It makes for very good content, especially in this 24/7 news cycle. Because I'm not trying to hear from a beat reporter every day. I'm just really not. Because they have to keep relationships with the team. They have to keep relationships with
I can go to them and get my news 100%. Like factual information. Let's go ahead.
Yes.
Tap into the Bleed Reporter.
Yeah. But then I can come back to you and get some actual, not even analysis, but opinion. Because that's ultimately that's what we're here for. Like fandom is about the opinion of the game. So there's people right now, to Moose point, who are like Jaden Daniels is RB1. Sure. But they're going to keep doing that because that's part of the fandom. Like their fandom will not allow
that's what
them.
We're known for, bro. Like we seen what RG3 did.
Yeah, but see, even in RG3's, no disrespect to him, but like his best year was like 3,200 passing yards.
Hey, brother.
Now I know
I'm the devil's advocate in this conversation.
Listen, and I'm big on inflation for in particular passing stats in the NFL.
On this show.
So like, if you throw for like 5,000 yards in 2024, 25, outside of like Drew Brees, like
that's 8,500.
No. Like it's probably not. It's probably less because it's the passing yards, the passing scheme, everything is catered towards extra games. Now, outside of Drew Brees, like when he used to throw 5,000 yards, it was special.
5,000, 8 and 8.
You know, that was
throwing for them 5 bands. Bro.
You know, that was special. Now, no disrespect, like when Justin Herbert did it like 2 years ago, it wasn't that I was hating. It was just that like, hey, this is like everyone, like everyone, not even the norm, but everyone's throwing the ball.
And you ain't making the offs doing it.
No touchdowns neither. You just had all yards.
So for me, I think context is
my quarterback.
Context is a very big thing.
But that was my argument.
And I think actually football people do it better than most of the sports people. Football and baseball people, like people have good, like Dan Marino gets properly respected as a great, and people can align that with the numbers. Like even though people have beaten his single season passing yards, touchdowns. People are still very respectful of like what it took for him to get that. Even OJ, the 2,000 yards, people still respect that he did it in 14. Yeah. You know, people still, you know, there's quite the difference. Listen, 14 games is different than 16.
Like, that's just different, bro.
That's different.
2,000 yards in 14 games.
That's different. You got to respect.
Nobody in that Hurts commercial, my nigga.
I honestly think he the only one.
Only one. Yeah. Like Dickerson is still the leader forever, but like 16, that's
Hey, bro, is anybody beating that?
And once again, I mean, Saquon could have smacked that.
He was probably
a bitch.
Saquon being a bitch.
Yeah,
you think so?
He gave it.
He took himself out of the game.
He gave Saquon the opportunity, bro. Saquon said, "I ain't trying to do it, bro."
I remember that because it's like he took himself out of the game. I was like, bro,
I think if Saquon gets another chance, listen, Saquon,
it ain't happening again.
You don't think so?
This is it. I ain't gonna lie to you. This is it, bro. Like you gotta take advantage of these.
I think Saquon. Oh yeah, of course I agree with you on that. But here's my Saquon take. Saquon is in a very rare take. I feel like he's in a very much so a Terrell Davis kind of.
Ooh, that's Chuck.
In a kind of Terrell Davis mode. And I think he was a much better player up until the part where Terrell Davis, if you go back and look at his career, has like a 3 to 5 year span where he's like, wow, Terrell Davis, Hall of Famer. But like the front end and the back end are kind of, there's something to be desired.
12, 13 year career?
I think like 10.
I think about Saquon though, like he went crazy. Had the injuries. And then he just bounced back with this year.
What do you mean? The last year in New York, he was great.
Yeah.
Like that's the thing about Saquon. Saquon was great to start, and like you said, had injuries
that the Giants
between years 3 and 4.
We're not going to pay him.
Years 3 and 4.
Shout out to that hard knocks,
this will be year 7. So that's my thing.
They shut that bitch down.
Year 1 and 2, amazing. Year 3 and 4, whatever.
Like y'all,
year 5 and
so
6 have been good. So like 4 of the 6.
We can't do no more off season hard knocks.
And we said this shit on film.
It's been better. Saquon, like.
We got 2 white men
and we still have
that
like
we don't want him.
In my opinion,
we got an owner and a random scout that said, "Hey, if we let Saquon
we gotta keep him, bro. I don't know.
We still got peak Saquon. Like that's my thing. Like
and then he went to Philly.
He
Like
still,
years.
yeah, you know,
He's
he has
years left.
he still has a lot, in my opinion, a lot
Yeah.
in him. You know, so for me,
I don't know.
he could make another run
He
where
jumped
like
over a nigga backwards after spinning and then putting
maybe
his
he
left
doesn't
foot in the
go for
ground
it.
where he already fucked up that knee.
maybe he don't
Stop.
go for 2,000, but like
Best thing I've ever
1,800,
seen.
19, like
he gonna get up there.
it's gonna end like another deep playoff
We
run
got
where
another
like
8 years of
he's
Saquon, bro.
he's rushing for 500 yards in the postseason.
We
Like
got another 8 years of Saquon, bro.
8 years is crazy, but I definitely
All
like
right.
Saquon like 27, 28.
yeah.
Not too many running backs last
5 and 6.
Behind that line, bro, you probably getting like 4.
Yeah, I'm giving him
4 more years.
I'm giving him
we
a
seen
solid.
I only say that because
We
like
say Frank Gore though, and
Cause, like-
he was a part of the old guard.
But that's the
He had to
thing.
go to
Frank
several
Gore went to
different
like
places.
4 different
see,
places.
I
and
say that because
different
your
things
boy
happen.
Derrick Henry,
If
bro,
they continue
like
this O-line,
now
bro,
he's
not
different.
getting
He a
touched.
different
That's a
frame.
man. That's
He-
a different
He a
man.
different.
he's
He a
not
different
getting
frame. But what I'm saying, like he 31 already. Like he 30,
He-
31.
but-
so what I'm saying,
to be
is,
fair, he might be the
like,
last of a
Son,
guy in the
Saquon-
brain.
But
Yeah,
Saquon not getting
that's-
touched until 7 yards past
He-
line of scrimmage.
he can play. He can play a little bit more.
No, nigga, they got the offensive line 1, and then 2.
Hell yeah.
It's just like because
Then they got Jalen Hurts. Like they,
he's a running threat as well.
yeah. So like that he make it easy, bro. He make it easy.
It's Oklahoma all over again.
Hey, so I do want to, like you said, another important point, Chuck, and I think for anybody that's listening on the sports podcast type and or like you want to like understand like this area, bro. This like starting from the top of what you said, like this area, this region, bro, they don't give any opportunities to individuals who are not that are black, that are not like a former athlete, right? Like if you ain't no former athlete, I ain't trying to hear from you.
Yeah.
If you don't have no fucking stake in the game, like you ain't had no experience, I'm not trying to hear from you. If you ain't a journalist who did everything the formal route, you did your time on the radio, like it don't matter what you did outside of that, I don't want to hear from you.
That's very true.
And
No,
what
That's DC, bro.
what you talk about the way I blend things, I think you painted the picture perfectly, right? I bring something to the table, bro, that I'm proud of. Like, and I
As
think
you
that
should
I think that I've been able to at least make this area way more competitive. If I had to talk some shit, like I think this area is way more competitive from the standpoint of like when I came out the woodwork, like of course, and it's even crazier because I know the people that followed me, right? Like in terms of like the people who cover the team, like I know y'all ain't get to this film session or breaking down film or like trying to up your game without me putting that into the atmosphere.
Right.
And like if y'all not gonna give me any opportunities, but y'all would rather be the people who are gonna sit here and say like I'm gonna up my game.
You're preaching
Cool.
You're preaching to the choir.
Do that, bruh. But at the very least, I know where it came from. And I know exactly that when I get to like wherever I need to be in my life, bruh, or cause y'all know my day job, like if things kind of shallow down, like I know the work that I put in, bruh, and I know that this area, bruh, y'all are gonna be in a situation where y'all are never gonna look at this shit and like be super comfortable. Y'all gonna be on y'all toes, bruh. Cause if I ever had time, or if anybody out here who's looking for opportunities, understand like that there's a window that I can exploit. This is gonna be the window to do it because like people out here, like you telling me there's only six white people that you can put in rotation on a weekly basis in the Washington D.C. metro area,
and honestly, it's only 3.
And y'all can have them like do all these shows, bro, make all these appearances.
They on channel 4,
and the only,
5, 7, and 9.
And the only people
within the 9 o'clock hour,
right?
And on top of that, like, I mean, shout out to the people that's on the TV side. Like, y'all do y'all thing. Y'all covering other sports, right?
Maul should be in your spot.
But then you talk about the only people that y'all trust, bruh, they had to play from 30 years ago, bruh. Like, and I'm gonna say this name, bruh, because it's not even a slight to him. Like, if he loves to do what he's doing, cool. It's nothing to do with him. But y'all abuse. That's tough. Wait, y'all got Njoku.
Hey, bro.
Let me get back to my point right quick. Y'all abuse this nigga Doc Walker all over the radio, bruh. Like, y'all use him.
They do.
And he's 75, bro.
Old as hell.
Old as hell.
They're holding it down.
And it has
Redskin
legend, bro.
Still kicking.
And it's like,
listen to anything. It's Doc Walker going Doc.
Right, bro.
Come on, man.
And it's like
Niggas don't work no more.
Bro, I don't even know if he know he had the radio station, bro. Like, but that's my dog. Like, I'm cracking a joke. That's he came on Trapper Dive too. Like, shout out Doc Walker because it has nothing to do with him. But it's the fact that people, they have no other intention. Like, whoever your scouts are, whoever their talent scouts are in the area, like, it don't even have to be me. Like, you talking about people in the area who doing their own thing, bro, that you can elevate. But y'all would rather keep the same tight-knit circle because y'all don't want to take these risks on other people who are, first off, who are actually influencing the people that y'all are working with. Like, let me like acknowledge that.
Why your team is not getting added so much?
I think this is how the industry is, bro. No. Unless somebody dies or retires, people are not giving up their job. It's really that simple, bro.
That, or even like let's experiment on a Saturday at 2 p.m. when nobody ain't doing shit. Let me offer this opportunity. But I agree.
Works for the networks.
I agree.
That we're criticizing so much right now.
To even speak on the network, right? We saw one guy that just retired this past weekend.
Who?
Lee Corso. Right?
Hey, shout out to Lee.
2 weeks ago.
Nah, he got one more episode.
Yeah, one more episode whenever the season starts. But he's been doing this shit since before we all
he retired 2 weeks ago.
That's true.
So it's just like, we've all seen him be bad on TV. Like, I've been fucking...
Nah, yeah, and I've been refuting.
Some cats are just like,
just because he goes against Michigan.
Once again,
about
he's old,
like, he's
man.
just old. Like I'm saying, that's my thing about this industry. Unless you're old, unless you die or you retire,
Jimmy Johnson,
you're not giving up your spot.
Jimmy
so that's
Johnson
why they
retired from the Sunday pregame shit so that
he has to retire. No one's gonna lose their job because they're bad at their job.
Michael Strahan got that job full time. It's either him or Gronk. Which one was it, Charles? Gronk or Michael Strahan?
Gronk took over now.
They take over these spots for people that are old or
he was
retired.
He was on two before the Super Bowl, so it had to be Gronk.
No,
you have a
but you know what's funny in this conversation?
Like, I'm not leaving this job.
Like, you mentioned Strahan and Gronk, bro. Like, two former NFL players. Right, and respectfully, like,
listening to
former
Gronk,
NFL players, you got experience, but like, who the fuck, like, Gronk don't even sound cohesive. Like he don't even sound like he there.
Hey, bro, I was about to say that. I was like, Slim, listen to that nigga talk about football. Hey, Slim.
No, I think that's why what you do is important, and I think because you provide tangible
the new
proof that people don't have to be part of this old guard. People don't have to be part of this old guard to be impactful. Because like I said, the things you guys did with Schefter, I think that was impactful. I think there's nobody who maybe blogs who won't be like, yo, we could get the biggest insider in football to come through now. And I think that's a win because I think the space.
When he get done with this, we're gonna talk.
I think the space is important, especially in particular for Black folks, because I think that's my biggest issue as someone who works in the space. It's very.
Why do you think Doc on TV, bro?
It's very concerning, or maybe not concerning, but it's very jarring to see a lot of, in particular, white people talk about not just football, because anyone can talk about football, but talk about sort of Black people and their experiences with football. So then they end up talking about, oh, well, this is why. And it's one thing to talk about, this is why, someone ain't doing the 4-3, or this is why someone isn't going to cover 2. But a lot of it, ends up becoming a lot of cultural and
Not being able to relate.
you
And then
know,
they say the dumb shit.
even when
And
it
they put
comes to
themselves in some bullshit.
even when it comes to things about this area, like talking about certain schools, why these people are like, and it's like, you know, as someone who's gone to both WCAC and a public school, you see, you hear some of these like,
Gone to a PWI.
you're like, why is this
That's
kid better than this kid? But toast one time to the good brother Mual. I love a good convo, especially a sports convo.
We're the best sports podcast other than them, right?
Hey man, y'all
Not better
doing your
than
thing,
Trapper
bro.
Die, but we close.
That's it. Other than that,
Moving forward, what are some
you like
things?
to snipe us as the best sports podcast.
Yeah, I did. What do you like to see, or what do you believe is in store for what you guys got going at the not just Trap or Die? Because I really like what y'all got going on there. I really think that like I said, y'all kind of the preeminent blog commanders place to people go. But what do you see for yourself and the group?
Yeah, like right now, I think the next step is actually trying to be like y'all, bro. Like, and what I mean by that, like y'all.
Like who?
Listen,
Nigga, you certified.
listen, bro. Listen, bro. Let me.
Sometimes.
I love like this in person, like setup and like being able to connect with the people that you're talking to. Like, if you know or if you follow Trap or Dive, like we are 99% virtual, right?
Sure.
And I think like being able to even get like guests and like have the people come through on the YouTube is lovely, bro. Like that's showing your support. Like anybody that shows support that way, like don't take it for granted. But I think growing from an in-person situation and being able to build out a studio or being able to like find that area where you can actually grow and see like have like more tangible evidence that, you know, this can be something bigger than just a virtual setup, right? And I don't know what that's going to look like in terms of like sponsors or like deals with a company backing us or like I don't like we don't know.
It
But
would take a lot of money because first of all, niggas would have to relocate and y'all would have to find a space comfortable enough for y'all to do that. Y'all would have to build a studio. We'll talk about that offline.
Hey, but look though, so like we had something in the works. Like all new, like I talked to him and everything. And in a while I haven't caught up with you, but like
niggas keep coming to us for shit in this podcast. Shit, but niggas will never put us. All right.
Hey, that's
my
funny.
Bad,
So
my
like,
bad, my bad,
so like
my
it
bad.
fell.
You felt me though.
Yeah.
Okay.
It fell through, bro. Unfortunately, and like the people that we was, I don't want to put their name out there because like they cool. I don't even know if they cool.
Bless.
God bless. Thank you. That's how we gonna end it. But like it fell
God
through.
bless.
But like to that point, like understanding like the next stages for a Trapper Dive and like having something that's more of a personable feeling. Right, where like this is something where like a studio and you can like build something and have like people come to like if they're in the city or like you can like build a full blown like a upscale show. Like I think that Tribe or Dive has the capabilities to do something like that. I think that with the two sides, all 32, and then the commander side, like there's room to have
I can do so much.
a lot of things going on, and like I have other plans too.
Y'all have a live joint during a game.
Yeah,
and it's already set up at this current stadium.
Yeah, that was the
like it's a certain gate. I ain't gonna say that y'all could literally build a sound stage.
Yeah, we could
and do a live joint, and y'all can keep that joint open to the third quarter.
So
have a screen out there, all that.
Yeah, like
its own entrance. Like y'all, like we brought up Pat McAfee earlier. Like y'all could be the Pat Mac for the Commander.
Yeah, the local show.
Like, and it's already built that way. And even if they move it back to the RFK grounds, when y'all move it back to the RFK ground, so it's just like, bro, like the cannabis jump about to be there in the parking lot. Yeah. So you telling me If you can rent the parking lot out to a festival, I'm done.
So, I think that's major, bro. And I think like you gotta have the right people listen to you. And part of the Tony Wiley conversation that I talked about earlier, like you, like some of these motherfuckers got like you gotta hope that they listen. I ain't gonna lie, I'm the type of dude, bro. Like I'm gonna go ahead, I'm gonna ask, I'm gonna do what I'm supposed to do, but or what I think I need to do, but like I ain't no sucker, bro. Like when I keep hearing some of the same answers, and I feel like you spinning me versus like actually like I feel like you generally can't do something for me. If I feel like you spinning me, I'm not about to be no sucker and keep coming back to you. I'm gonna go ahead and do my own thing. But outside of that, like connections need to be made, conversations need to be had. Like for me, what's next? I just want to make sure like Trap or Dive like transitions or has the opportunity to transition from 100% virtual to being able to start doing in-person conversations, in-person shows, and like making the experience for the viewers online different and better, but also people who come in to have conversations or people that we want on the show, like when they're in town or whether they are local or like even if they are virtual, like the hosts are there to like make this conversation way more on a higher level. So like we can just improve the experiences on Trap or Dive, but also like show that like even if we don't have like this full scale 1 million person team, that we can really do this shit. And if y'all can push some money behind us, like the people that's out there interested, y'all can put some money behind us, or like we can show you that you need to invest in us. Like yeah, like it's gonna be worth. It's gonna be worth it. You're gonna get your money's worth, bro.
I'd love to hear that. We'd be remiss if we let you leave here without getting some actual Commanders takes. So last year NFC title game. Were we going further, the same, or lesser next year?
As I said, the over-under is 9.5.
I wanted a larger.
And I told you place it.
I wanted a larger question to be asked.
No, hey, so Chuck, I'm thinking, so conference championship game, like expecting that 2 years in a row is gonna be hard because you ain't expect them to get to conference championship the first time. I think that they're gonna make the playoffs again. Mm-hmm. I think the expectation for the team should be Super Bowl or bust. For the team, like that language is important. I think Super Bowl from a fan's expectation is gonna be hard as shit to like sit here and think that you gotta make the Super Bowl. I think that they'll make the playoffs. I think that they may win a playoff game, but outside of that, leave it up in the air because I don't think that they've gotten the players on the defensive side, especially up front, to sit here and say like the difference makers. Yeah, like I don't think that they've gotten the difference makers yet to suggest that they can like really dominate a Detroit Lion team that's fully healthy. If everybody's fully healthy, right?
I like
a Detroit Lion team, a Philadelphia Eagle team. Like they may win the game. Like
they won't dominate.
or have like they may be the underdog. Like they're not gonna be a favorite going into those games.
But they gonna spike that under.
So I don't know. Like, but to that point,
they
like
did it last year.
Yeah, they did. But like, I think what helped Washington.
5.5 more games.
Yeah. No, what you said the over under was 5.5, right? They
112. So they got at least
They getting back to the alls.
11.5, nigga. Like
getting back to the alls. I don't think right now that they're going back to the conference championship game, but I think that they can win at least one playoff game.
I like that. My thing about the Commanders, I think they're in a great position. Anytime you have a ascending rookie quarterback on a rookie contract, there's always a possibility, especially when you have overachieved already. Like they have overachieved.
Yes.
They weren't supposed to
It's
win
a
their
5-year
first
contract.
game.
Rookie
Wow.
contracts are 5 years. So if you would have told a
That's
Commanders fan
Bro, it's not a bad. It's not a bad pick.
April 2024,
Especially for them, that's not a bad pick.
hey, you're gonna draft Jaden Daniels, and within his rookie contract, you're gonna make an NFC title game. Every fan takes that. Now, since it happened in year 1, people might get a little greedy.
Perfect
They
set
need
for
it.
But I definitely think that this is one of those things where like the NFC to me is not the AFC. So outside of the Eagles, I know it's a division foe.
It's East and West Conference in basketball.
Yeah, I mean, I know the Eagles are a division foe, and I know that definitely worries people. I know I get your point. The Lions were not healthy last year.
Yeah.
And teams will get better. I think my team, the Packers, will get better. I think the Bears will be better. I think there's a few teams that will
Bears
be.
is a line.
The
Yeah.
Niners was injured. I mean, now granted, they actually just had a whole.
I'm about to say
They lost
I
niggas on the
agree, but
D-line,
they have a whole revamp of their
Yeah.
team as well.
So that's a wild card.
And there's other teams. Every year there's a team you're like, oh wow, Commanders were that team last year. So but for me, when I just look at the landscape and everything that's around, it seems like the Commanders are in prime position, if not to be like competing for a title. Hey, we're gonna be one of the last 8 teams for the next couple of years.
Yeah.
At least to the point where like something dramatic or catastrophic has to happen before we take them out of it.
That's
So
nuts.
if there's a crazy injury, coach gets fired, something
He's supposed to be a first round
bad
pick.
happens and then things change, yes. But on paper, as things are set up, I think the Commanders are a top 4 team in the NFC
Let's do with
right now.
He got the short arms too.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, so Chuck, I'm with you. I think the biggest thing, like when you talk about Washington in particular, right, is like knowing, and you said it, but like knowing that Jaden is your quarterback, you got a window that's different.
Mm-hmm.
Like you got a window that's real. Like people think about, like Brad, and people think about 2012 and like the RG3 comparisons. Like I think the more frustrating thing from my perspective is like RG3 was electric. He was a dog within his own right, but he was never a pass first quarterback.
Yep.
He wasn't a person who was as lethal in terms of his balance, his ability to pass, see the field, and then run, but also like his pocket presence. Like he didn't have great pocket presence. Like he didn't have spatial awareness. Like Jaden had that. Jaden has that.
They move the pocket so much at Baylor.
And you talk about a person in Jaden who's like completely different in like how dangerous he is to any defense that he goes against.
The one caveat, because I hate to be, I just like to defend people. I don't know why, but one thing I will say about RG3, the offense that was schemed up for him seemed to be not as.
Gruden, right?
Yeah,
Shanahan was
but it was Shanahan first.
I feel as though that offense was much more 1-2 read, get out, and that for him at the time.
know if it's 2.
That's how I was being.
Boom.
But
1, if it's not there, nigga.
But no, I agree with that. I don't disagree with that. I think the thing is with RG, you're talking about a person who didn't have like they made sure they made sure that they didn't expose him to the risk of like being able to make mistakes. Like they said, let's limit his ability to
fuck this up.
You
Yes,
say it was a different NFL though, because it was 10 years prior.
That was going to be my second.
It's a different NFL, but if you look at
I have a bias for RG3, but I love Jaden Daniels as well. But I just feel like they gave me the same thing.
I want to hear what Maul's going to say before I say one more
I
thing.
feel like it was like this is what the game was then.
I was going to say something.
it wasn't.
That's what I was going to say. That was the beginning of it.
So what
That was the beginning of it, and he wasn't even a person like.
That broke it.
Yeah, I mean, Cap was around. RG3,
They were all
RG3
around.
broke the. He did break the. He broke
records.
the game. He set the records. But at the same time, you talking about a person at RG
Cam
like
broke that shit wide open, bro.
Cam was.
But
Cam
Cam
was
was
different.
much of the better passer.
And
people forget Cam threw for 400 yards his first 2 games.
Bro, that's what I'm saying. Like that's what compared to Jaden Daniels, he broke that shit wide open. Cause he's the type of nigga like he's not as big.
But my thing
But
about
he can throw.
I'm
and
talking more
run
about
at
offensive
the same
scheme.
ability.
That's more so what I'm talking about.
So I'm with you, and that's why I'm like, when I think
Y'all
about
talking about scheme, I'm just talking about ability.
I'm just talking decade of ball.
and I think, but I think to your, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I think to your question, bruh, like you're talking about a person like who started the read option, who was around at the beginning of the read option, and the influence of how that taking over the NFL, right?
Is read option and fucking bailing.
Yes.
I mean, read option, spread, offense,
all that.
like
Run the gun, however you want to.
Like RG3 shit in Baylor was years beyond what the fuck they doing.
But if you look at, but think about this though, like to your point, like, but
they just getting to it now.
But think about where Colin Kaepernick came from, though.
Yes.
Colin Kaepernick
Where was
offense.
he
He came
Nevada.
from Nevada, and Kyle Shanahan
division?
spent a lot of
It's Baylor
time
and
with
Oregon
Kyle with Nevada, whoever the head coach was
At the time,
Like,
to learn how that was utilized there, and let's see how we can make this work on the NFL level.
Big 12, right?
Mountain West.
No, Mountain West, Nevada. Wait,
Nevada,
you talking
right?
about Cap?
No, I'm talking about motherfucking
Baylor, Big 12, Oregon,
Baylor
Pac-12
and motherfucking
at the time.
and then Chip Kelly.
My thing is that in the NFL,
'Cause he was
the
Oregon,
read
he
option,
was
a lot of
Oregon,
that
wasn't
was that wave of the early 10s with RG3 and a bunch of other Cam Newton.
Four people minimum. I mean maximum.
Cam Newton,
Two for
RG3,
Two
and a few others. And,
Only two of them had the high.
Well, three. Because
Cap,
Cam,
Cam,
RG,
yep.
and
you
whoever
know,
else, like
But the
good
other
luck.
nigga was white, and that was in Cap conference.
now in the year 2025,
That's what I'm saying. It's a different
the
style of
quarterback, like we're asking.
Yes, it's still the same type of football, but it's a different type of football. Yeah, I mean,
Different type, but also like when you think about
but your guy Jaden's, he's literally just.
But my thing about
There's
Jaden,
no one in his.
there we go,
There's
and
no
I think
one in
that
his
was
own.
my biggest
It's
difference
like, okay,
between
1,
Jaden.
2, 3,
Yes,
4. Oh, I'll go back.
I like
to
his
one that's
progression.
there. Yeah,
I like his progression through passing.
And why are you doing this as your first year? Like, why are you doing this?
Well, because I
It's
think
crazy,
if you remember his last year at LSU, that's all he did.
Can't lie, they do.
All he did was scan the
Big
field
10 guy.
and go out and throw for 5,000. Like he literally,
Didn't care
like
too much about SEC.
my thing about SEC quarterbacks is that in the last decade or so, they have been much more statistically, great. Like they've been putting up the 3,000 to 4,000 yards, the 40 touchdowns.
4,000.
They've been. I mean, I think Dart had a crazy amount of numbers. Like since Cam Newton, basically Auburn, the SEC has had these good quarterbacks who have also been very
Systematical.
No, but have put up the numbers statistically as well. Because that's the thing, the SEC quarterbacks used to be good, but like they're only throwing for 2,000, 2,500 yards. That hasn't been the case the last decade. Like I can go through SEC quarterbacks and find you like SEC quarterbacks who are
Nigga throw for
Jalen Hurts, who wasn't the greatest SEC quarterback statistically,
Sure.
was still throwing for close to 3,000 yards in the SEC in his first couple of seasons. So like they have upped their quarterback play as a conference. Just as a conference.
and the team that you using, Alabama, like they was notoriously known for having sorry ass quarterbacks.
Yeah.
And then you start from who was like the first that turned AJ McCarron. Yes. Oh, AJ McCarron, but it was still a slow bleed after that. Until you got around to the
Joe Burrow.
Joe Burrow was around
LSU, but
yeah.
But you're right. Jalen Hurts might have been kind of there.
Last two SEC quarterbacks that won the Heisman came from LSU.
I think my bottom line though, even talking about RG and then the Jaden thing, my bottom line is like when you look at what RG3 was able to do from an individual trait standpoint versus like what Jaden is doing now from a trait standpoint, like it's different levels in terms of like, I mean, shoot, another like RG3 on our show said Jaden coming into the NFL was already light years ahead of him than where he was coming into the NFL. And I think that's where I'm coming from. Like when you just look at how they played as a rookie in terms of how they developed as rookies. Like that's the difference.
And I think I agree with both of y'all because I think that's a product of the times as well. We've seen rookie Q the last couple of years. Stroud.
So how does that make what's the conversation? If that's the case, what about Andrew Luck then?
He went crazy.
But what I'm saying is Andrew Luck. What I'm saying is Andrew Luck came into the league
crazy.
He went crazy, but also like the drop off from year 1 to year 2 wasn't existent. But also like the reason why he got better, and the reason why he got better was because he came into the NFL first off from a pro style system in Stanford. He was also prepared from the standpoint of like seeing things from his actual vision and processing standpoint that RG struggled from year 1 to year 2.
I agree.
When he got hurt, when he got hurt in year 1, his main thing was I want to come into the NFL. I mean, I want to come into year 2 as a pocket quarterback because I got fucking hurt, and I don't trust like the offense that we're running right now. Right?
That's what the coach.
That's a good pick.
I mean. So what happened? I mean, you can say that, but then what happened when Jay Gruden was around? Like
they were all trying to force him to do that shit, bro.
I don't think they were trying to force him.
I don't know, bro.
I agree with Ball too, but I just think quarterback play at the high end, especially young quarterbacks, in my opinion, seems to be a little bit more pro ready. Guys like CJ Stroud,
taking away RG3 out of it, like
from 2012 to 2023, 24,
it's way more advanced.
I think like even guys who we may not consider good or plan out bust, Justin Fields is gonna stick around as like a competent. He's gonna be a starter. He's on the second team, gonna be a starter. On his third team, essentially, because he's 23, 24.
Yeah.
So essentially because people still believe that like there's still something in there. So I just think overall, like you said, not to RG specifically, but overall, quarterback play at the high end. Even someone like I think was my Bryce Young, who everyone was like, yo, you gave him a little bit of coaching. You
saw he ended.
You gave him some stability.
I'm completely surprised, like in a good way, because I was so mad that it was so south early on, bro.
But you gave him a little stability, a coach who kind of believed in him and tailored things. Because here's the thing: the NFL is about tailoring,
bro.
Not every quarterback. There's very few quarterbacks or players in general that you drop
literally just pick
and they change things.
The Panthers literally just picked
most teams.
And the way that. Hey, I forgot their coach's name at the moment. Excuse the intoxication.
Corrales.
There we go.
Yeah, from Tampa Bay.
I don't know his first name, but
David.
It started with a D. David. So, like, all right, D. Corrales. The way he drew that shit up.
Yeah, I think the second half of the season he realized what type of player he had. He realized that maybe I don't have the quarterback I believe.
That's why I fuck with him.
I have the quarterback I have. And I think that's the big thing. And Andy Reid is amazing with Patrick Mahomes. Patrick Mahomes is great. Get it right. But Andy Reid knows how to coach Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah.
Andy Reid knows how to coach Michael Vick.
Donovan McNabb is probably a better quarterback than...
No, please don't do that. But
no. I want this one. I want to make sure. What you about to say?
Arm strength.
No, I'm saying better quarterback than
arm strength, and he can read it better. That was it.
Than Mahomes.
Yeah. So what I was saying was Patrick Mahomes. What I liked about Andy Reid is that every quarterback that he had,
just like read it.
Every quarterback that he had, he was
willing to give you the time of day, bro.
I'm not. He was willing.
Because he already knew what I'm talking about.
He was willing to tailor the offense
too. Was drunk as shit when he had Vic, I'm not defending this.
He said, "Hey, I'll cater it to the fact that you have this laser arm and you're mobile."
I'm Mahomes over motherfucking McNabb.
When he had McNabb, he was like, "Yo, I'm going to do a lot more slants. I'm going to make sure that like maybe we move the pocket. Maybe not you, but we move the pocket."
At the time because you knew exactly what I was talking about.
Mahomes, you see, he's brought out all the stops.
He opened up the playbook.
That's my point. When he
plays, nigga, Mahomes you blew that up. Say less.
He was winning 10 games with Alex Smith.
He's unpredictable, bro. Like Mahomes is super unpredictable.
I think people believe Cam, and I think that's why Cam Ward went where he went because I think people believe that he has that kind of.
Yeah.
He's not Alex Smith. He's a Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah, like Alex.
Shador Sanders is an Alex Smith.
Yeah, more so for sure.
Shit, I'm about to say, well, we about to go into round 3. You sure
We're in round
you sure
three.
he even? You sure he even?
Nah, he's not getting undrafted. That's crazy.
But when I said that,
Wait, what did we say before the show started? I was
bro.
like, I said 4th round, right?
You said fourth. You said fourth. You said fourth.
Niggas held me when I said that off mic though.
He had no. I was with you. I had nothing with Shador. I like Shador as a
I didn't say you were against him. I'm just saying niggas held me when I was like, bro, this nigga can go undrafted.
Okay.
No, I'm actually. So I didn't hear that. So I'm interested to see why you said that. Why'd you think that he can
The
go
same reason
undrafted?
we said it before we got on mic, bro.
For all
Like,
that,
bro, like his flaws
you think it's that bad that he can possibly go
in
undrafted?
today's league.
Nah, I think the Shador stuff is a lot of.
We saw what Kirk
There's a lot of
Cousins did,
talk
bro.
as
like,
well,
We seen
like-
a lot of shit, bro.
There's a lot of people talking themselves into the measurables because I've seen a lot of guys be great in combine, be great in pro days.
My whole thing is
And
young and
once
tough.
again, what's my man from the Jets who can't find himself on a roster now?
Zach Wilson.
Zach Wilson. Everyone told me he was
Zach
amazing
Wilson.
because he threw a ball 60 yards across his body in shorts on a pro day in Utah, and that was enough. And everyone was like, he has all these intent. And what has he done? Like, my thing about the NFL in general, I like to see what you do when you're playing 11 on 11. And Shador has his flaws, and he holds the ball too fucking long. I don't think anyone. That's his biggest thing.
Biggest right, bro.
But he also is a 74 completion passer, like completion percentage. Like that's something that cats don't do.
But if we watch the tape, like
Once
that goes
again,
way-
he
that
didn't
goes to the
he didn't just do
wide
that at Jackson
receivers
State.
way
He
more
did
than
that
him.
at Colorado.
I got you with that.
That's a fact. Like if you want to do the whole he did that at Power 5. So if you want to say it's the low of the Power 5s, that's fine. But he still did it at a Power 5 school. So there's no I don't know you can take that away from him.
But if you get up a nigga 3 seconds,
He threw like 40,
you better find
30
a fucking
touchdowns and like
completion.
6 interceptions. Like he's not a guy who throws a lot of like my thing about Shador is that
he's throwing a lot of interceptions in this game.
the
in the
measurables
NFL.
aren't there, and I won't deny that. But I've watched him play football, and I don't think there's 4 quarterbacks
Hey, y'all,
that
as
have
a
gone
nigga,
that are better than him.
I played football against you when you were a quarterback.
I was like 10 years old, bro.
But at the same time, I'm just saying.
It just doesn't count.
But y'all,
It just doesn't.
it does, but it doesn't.
It just
Because at
doesn't
the same time, the way you just broke that shit down, you
No, but-
analyzed the game. You did the same thing when you were 10 years old.
No, but I just don't think that. Listen, I
Because we
think
lost that game against KLM.
this is my biggest thing.
Every 2 hours.
All right, we're about to be done right now. I think this is my biggest thing, especially for football cats. The measurables are the measurables. There's no denying that. Like, yo, if I put shit on paper, it's on paper. A 6'5",
That's my thing,
240 defensive end. What do you mean? Give me that every time.
Yeah.
Every time. But
And especially if you got
Aaron Donald is,
especially if you got a 7'6"
but also there's Aaron Donald, who's 6 foot, like 230, 220, and
His
he's gonna
wingspan
go
is
down.
longer than what it is, though.
Sure, but he's gonna go down as the generational player, as one of the best defenders of his generation.
For sure.
And the measurables don't necessarily stack up
Because he like
as nicely, as
Because he's like
neatly.
5'11", 6 foot.
Maybe
with a
as somebody.
6'7"
What's my man,
wingspan.
Jadeveon Clowney, where the measurables said, "Hey," and Jadeveon Clowney was really good. Like he's still in the league.
Nigga, Levante David.
Has had an All Pro
Levante Davis.
year.
Still around.
But we're not talking about him as a general. So my thing is that, like, listen, at the end of the day, these dudes have to lace them up,
Line up. Do that
get on the
motherfucker.
field, and play. And my thing is that
Am I better than
if
you?
we're just
Yes
gonna
or no,
do
one-on-one?
it strictly off of that, last year it was, well, Caleb has this. Jaden has this, but he doesn't have.
You know I'm a Jaden.
And
nigga.
what happened? I watched them
I
play.
argue all the Jaden
And
shit.
it was in Landover
yeah,
when
October
he threw
jump.
that Hail Mary.
Yeah.
And my thing is that's the type of stuff that
And Oak Hill, he
no
said, I knew when I threw
measurables,
that
no
Hail Mary.
combine can teach. Like Jaden Daniels had to be like, yo, I'm going to believe
Shit,
in
they
my
fucking
arm.
He was a better quarterback, didn't
Maybe.
I'm gonna have to believe in my
A lot of
arm.
times
I'm gonna
I'm
have to
for
believe in my
I'm a
teammates.
Jaden Daniels.
And
nigga.
he did it. And I believe like
Yeah.
that matters.
You LSU. I talked to a couple LSU LSU folk.
That's all I had. Man, more.
Because like when you said something about him after that 5 touchdown game, the first one. Because he scored 10 touchdowns in 2
We
weeks.
keep more here. We'll be talking about next year's
Got a Shador comp.
next year's draft.
No, because he scored 2 touchdowns.
Let's get out. Let's
There's
hear-
one
let's hear-
Shador
you
comp.
about to spit out some bullshit.
Yeah, I am. Rest in peace. Rest in peace. But
Yeah.
Dwayne Haskins is my Shador comp for me.
Oh, that's wild.
Rest in peace. That's my Shador.
Can we end the show now?
That's why he
We
did
definitely
it.
can.
That's why he
I'm
did
just
it.
saying.
Let's end the show.
I'm just
Rest in
saying. Like,
Rest in peace.
That's wild.
Sounds
Man,
good.
lost upon on Tyler Graham.
Rest in peace, buddy. Man.
Man,
Shout
lost
out
upon
Maul.
on
You
Tyler.
got anything
Forgive
you want to say
him.
before we leave? Shout out to
I mean-
Maul. Listen. We can talk. We can do this for
I
another
didn't say it in
hour.
no disrespect. I'm
We
just
can do
saying
this
that's
for
what the
another
comp
hour.
is.
That's
bro.
a fact.
This
And
guy
we
good.
actually get into like analytics and sports and shit.
My
Look
man
good
has
coming
good
up.
sports banter. What else you need to tell him? Where they need to find you?
Hey,
Trap and dive, man.
Trap
or
Trap
Trap
or
or
Die
Die.
podcast.
Trap
Trap
or
or Die
Die,
podcast, man. YouTube, Apple, Spotify,
Wherever
Anywhere
you
you
get that
get
motherfucker.
podcasts.
wherever you get that, John, man. Let
If you
Maul
can
tell
find
it.
us, you can find him.
Yep, let Maul tell it on socials. I told you, bro. Like when Mook sent out the invite, I was like, boy, like I ain't
Nigga
think
said,
about
I
it.
got the hazy thoughts involved.
Hey, bro, like I was
I got the
like,
high codes
You
involved.
can come
bro,
here
this
anytime.
different,
I said,
bro.
bro,
If you
we
want to
are
come
modest.
banter the football, you can come here
Look, I just
anytime during
want-
football season.
I'm just trying.
And
I'm just
Charles
trying to
gave
be
you
here,
the-
bro. Like I
Charles
just
gave you
want to
the
be in
fan.
the environment, bro. That's it. I ain't gotta be on no mic, bro. Just let me sit back here,
All
man.
I
Come
gotta say
TV
is
on, bro. Let
as
me
you
hear the
can see, we have
conversation,
multiple
bro.
microphones.
Come
Yeah,
through, come
You're
banter.
going to be on the microphone.
Come banter.
But no, that's it though. I appreciate y'all as always, bro. Y'all already know I'll be supporting y'all.
No, support you as well,
However
brother.
long I've been around,
I
bro.
ain't
Like,
finished the bottle.
yeah, man. We finished the basil. But no, I
They don't
appreciate
pay us,
y'all.
but shout out to them.
Yeah, I'll keep that, man. I don't know what y'all gonna do with it, but keep that.
I'm gonna throw that bitch away.
I got some bottles upstairs.
There it is. Throw the bitch away.
Shout out Maul, good man. Shout out, go Commanders.
I mean, shout out yourself
No
if you're a
Commanders.
fan of the NFC East, but fuck the Eagles and fuck the Giants.
Yeah, I'm glad you didn't say the other word.